Here's how I stay six-pack lean 365 days a year whilst working my full-time corporate career and looking after a family with young children, without killing myself, spending hours in the gym each day or counting calories. I'm going to share with you my simple 3-step method for shedding the belly fat while supercharging your productivity and energy to become the peak executive and business leader that you know you can be. Now, before you go on, I'm going to stop some of you right here, because for some of you, this video is just not going to be relevant. If you're in your 20s, you want to train 2 hours a day, 5-6 days in the gym, and you're happy eating chicken and broccoli for the next 2 years. If you think the sole solution to getting in shape is the latest fancy bodybuilding bro split training program, or you want a standard, bland, low-calorie diet plan that restricts what you can eat, this is not going to be for you. And, of course, if you're not committed and not willing to invest in yourself, then none of this is going to work. But if you are like me and you work a demanding, high-pressure job with limited free time, you need the most time-efficient workout routines. If you want to be seen as a respected top leader in your organization, if you want to make a sustainable long-term change to reprioritize and maximize your health, and do all of this without compromising precious time with family, then stay on, because I'm going to share with you the exact method that I used to achieve all of these things that I'm now sharing with my clients, and I want to share my experience and expertise with you. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kareem Ibrahim, founder of the Executive Health Project, a movement for busy, time-pressured corporate professionals who want to optimize their health, become the most effective leader possible in their organization, and do all of this without taking time or focus away from family. I'm a former internal medicine physician, business owner, a healthcare strategy consultant who's worked with some of the top firms in the world and the top organizations globally. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a parent. Now, there will be an opportunity for us to work together at the end of this video. But for now, the real purpose is to show you the method that I've used to personally reclaim my health, and I'm now helping multiple high-performing business leaders do exactly the same. But I've got to say, things weren't always this rosy and great for me. And I want to ask you one question. Are you sacrificing your health for the sake of career success? Because I know that I was, and I've fallen into this trap into the past. 1 year into my career in consulting, I was an associate at Boston Consulting Group, had really high ambitions, and I felt that I was doing great. I went out to dinner with one of my friends who I hadn't seen in a year, and the first thing he said to me when I walked into the restaurant was, "Man, you look like shit." It hit hard, and you know what? I needed someone to tell me this, someone who respected me enough to tell me to my face what it is. And in fact, this is me on that very day, not looking my best, to say the least. I went home and took a good long look at myself in the mirror and realized that I'd let myself go. I put on weight, I'd stopped going to the gym, I was eating takeaway by default, because that's what you did in the corporate world. I was sitting hunched at my desk all day, barely moving around, barely getting up, barely hitting 2-step, and that was probably just from my commute in and out of the office. I was sleeping less than 5 hours a night on average, if that. And worst of all, I was irritable and low in energy. I felt awful looking back on it, and to be honest, disappointed in myself and honestly a bit of a fraud. I'd always taken pride in how I looked, and so I thought, how could I have let myself go like this? I didn't feel or look like the strong, confident man that I used to be. But most importantly, and this was when it really hit home, was that my wife and I were expecting our first child at the time. And I just knew that I couldn't be the type of father I wanted to be for my future children and keep living like this. I had to do something, and quick. So I went deep. I educated myself on training, nutrition, and energy systems. But that barely scratched the surface. The real change and And the real shift in my mindset and behaviour was when I completed a 6-month behaviour change certification to understand human psychology, habits, motivation, work-life balance, sleep, relationships, how all of this plays in to our beliefs about our health and how we show up to work, to our family, to those we care about. I've taken on all this experience, and now I'm willing to share it all with you, so you don't have to go through the same pain and process that I did. So how does this actually all come together? Let me take you through the phases that I went through that I'm now using with my clients in the Executive Health Project to achieve incredible results. First phase I'll take you through is the rapid fat loss. Now, here's the thing. Guys feel that they need to be motivated before taking action. Actually, I'm here to tell you it's quite the opposite. Action and results breed motivation. So I started off quick, and this is what my guys do. The quick wins really get the fire going and provide an immense launch pad for your journey. Because here's the magic. Executive leaders don't fail within the first month of their fitness and weight loss journey because they don't have a plan. They fail because the plan isn't customized to their severely time-limited schedule. Anyone can lose weight when they're in their early 20s, going to the gym for 2 hours a day, eating a restrictive diet, but when you've got a busy job, you've got a family to look after, financial responsibilities, you know this doesn't work now. So what do? Firstly, we look at your time. We understand exactly how you're spending your day and where you can find those little time pockets to exercise, to plan your meals, or just relax and decompress from the day-to-day stresses of the workday. We then implement my specific 30-minute workout protocols, and these are like nothing in the fitness industry right now. Okay, you do not need to spend hours in the gym to get results. And finally, we change your mindset around food right from the start. Food is for fuel. We do not focus on cutting calories and restricting your diet because that doesn't work. And this is exactly what Mitesh did in the first phase of the program. We found 20 minutes before work where we implemented a short, effective bodyweight circuit that he did first thing in the morning at home when he got up. And we made one change to his breakfast to move from milk and, frankly, a children's cereal into granola and yogurt, a tastier, more filling alternative, something that he actually enjoyed eating and kept him fuller for longer, despite being actually at the same calories as what he was eating before. What was the result? He lost nearly 1.5 kilos in 2 weeks. As a byproduct, he stopped having his mid-morning snack at work. He just felt that he didn't need to. I didn't tell him to have it, but he realized that he just didn't need it anymore with his more filling breakfast. And throughout the day, he felt more energetic and focused at work because he'd started the day off on the right foot with his exercise session. Incredible results right off the bat. You see, here's the problem though. Often people do lose weight and they lose fat in the first few weeks of the program, but then this happens. The weight loss starts to slow and you feel frustrated, angry even, thinking, I should be able to do this. Why is this not working now? But I'm here to tell you, motivation is not the issue. You've been misled by the fitness industry. It's not your fault. To tell you the truth, when you're in your teens and early 20s, your metabolism can burn through almost anything. But as you hit your 30s, 40s and beyond, that's just not the case anymore, as I found out to my personal detriment. One option is to cut calories even further. The metabolism dies with low-calorie diets, and you'll suffer from low energy and focus, something that you just cannot afford to do as a high-performing business leader. And to top it all off, guys can suffer from low testosterone, and women can have menstrual issues with low-calorie diets. You do not want to go down that route. But if you want to avoid the dreaded weight loss stall, here's what you do instead. Implement my very specific anti-plateau nutrition and lifestyle protocol. And this builds on the work we've done in phase 1. We focus on food quality, food for fuel, as I mentioned, not quantity. And also we address all those other lifestyle factors that are so critical to your health, your sleep, your stress management, your general activity levels through the day. how you're performing at work, even your family relationships. If there's a problem in any of these areas, then you will not lose weight, or your efforts will stall despite having the mechanics of exercise and good nutrition in place. And this is what's really unique with a holistic program like the Executive Health Project. Now, this approach is exactly what we took with Jeff. He told me when we first started working together that throughout his 40s he just felt like everything slowed down and he'd struggled to sustain a healthy weight despite trying multiple diets. At his best, at his fittest, he was about 170, 175 pounds, but he'd gone up to over 200 and he just couldn't get himself back down to a healthy level despite trying multiple diets. And that's the thing, he was always in the mindset of diet, cutting calories, restricting food, removing things from his life. This was not the way. So what did we do? We focused on food quality versus restriction. There was nothing that was off limits, but we changed his mindset around food to fueling his performance and eating quality food. We ensured his testosterone didn't plummet from over-restriction, and we fixed his sleep habits. Jeff was suffering from the classic issues of a high-performing business leader that he couldn't switch off from work in the evenings. He went to sleep having just checked his phone for the latest emails and messages. And when he did finally get to sleep, he had poor sleep quality. He woke up not feeling refreshed. Once we fixed his mindset, learned how to manage his stress, changed his eating habits, and fixed his sleep routine, he continued to have incredible success and continued to drop 1 to 2 pounds each week. And most importantly, he had increased energy levels. Hear that? Increased energy levels and no food cravings. He felt better than he'd ever done before. But there's one final piece of the puzzle. And in a way, this is the most critical. 95% of people who successfully lose weight will put it all back on within 18 months. Just think about that for a moment. I've managed to keep the weight off for more than 5 years. And I know that my clients do exactly the same. Now, the reason that people put the weight back on is because if these new behaviours are not part of your new identity, then you will default back to your old habits. If you think that I'm someone who's fat, my parents are fat, you will always be overweight because you haven't changed that belief. You haven't changed that value. I'm a person with a sweet tooth. You will always be that person if you don't address the underlying mindset issues, values, and behaviours to form a new identity of a fit, healthy, and powerful, high-performing business leader, which you know is there, you know you can be, but you need to address these to see continued success. Staying fit and healthy is easy when the weeks are predictable and you can follow your standard weekly routine. However, the inevitable work pressures, project deadlines, travel away from home, family emergencies, all legitimate issues will crop up and kill your progress if you don't have the right strategies, tactics, and habits in place to deal with them, which is our primary focus in phase 3. Alter your behaviours through my unique executive behaviour change blueprint, a system that's almost inserted into my clients' minds so they change from within. Now think about it, it's like in a business organisation, bringing in external consultants to change the culture. It's really hard as an organisation to change your culture from within. There are so many embedded behaviours, beliefs, and habits. And our minds work in exactly the same way. Without that external push, someone to challenge your thinking and beliefs, we trend towards inertia, do nothing. Our bad habits stay as they are, and our good habits don't stick, despite our best intentions. The key is to make your desired behaviours easy and attractive, and link them to your beliefs around the person who you want to become in the future. And this is exactly what we did with Jamil. Now, he was a self-confessed, I'm a sweet tooth person, and he went from having a dessert every evening and biscuits every morning with his morning coffee to having a dessert about once a week, and sometimes less than that. He almost went to only having them on social occasions, which was a huge change for him, a complete mindset shift away from his previously held belief of, I am someone with a sweet tooth. And more importantly, we reprogrammed his mind away from falling off the wagon. so he never needs another coach again. Jamil travels regularly for conferences, for work meetings, and he would always let these derail his progress in the part, unable to resist the temptation of food on demand, not keeping up his exercise routine. But we changed his beliefs and values so that he took these changes to his regular routine in his stride and now just can continue to keep his new lifestyle on track despite all the challenges of work and social travel. As a result, he dropped 11 pounds in 12 weeks, he dropped a trouser size, and he's maintained this new baseline weight 3 months later after we stopped working together. And that's the key. My clients see long-term change to their health, their habits, and yes, of course, their weight, but more importantly, their energy and how they perform. So listen, I've taken you through the three phases that I use personally for myself to completely change my life, my fitness, despite working a busy corporate career and looking after a family with young children. Now, this is a system that I'm sharing with you, with my clients, so you don't have to struggle through that typical yo-yo dieting, unable to get your exercise routine in place, that phase that so many people go through. I really want you to shortcut that process, go straight to the money, and become that high-performing, effective business leader that you can be. So listen, thank you for watching this far. I'm guessing at least some of what I said has resonated if you're still watching this video. Now, what's the next step? You can of course try and implement this yourself. You've probably tried before, but you weren't successful. Or perhaps you were, but then life got in the way and you couldn't sustain it, or so you kept telling yourself. So you're looking for some external help. Now, this could take the form of an in-person PT, that 23-year-old guy fresh out of school, but do they really know what it's like to work a high-pressure corporate job? Be a parent, have financial responsibilities? Probably not. They're probably going to give you that same cookie-cutter chicken and broccoli routine, 5 days a week bro split that they give to all their clients. If you're looking for something more than that, something that will actually transform your life and benefit from the experience of someone who's a doctor, personal trainer, certified behavior change coach, and most importantly, has been in your shoes in a busy corporate consulting job, the next step to working with me is to jump on a short 15-minute discovery call where we'll talk through your health goals, what you've tried in the past, what stopped you from having success, and what you want to achieve in the future. And look, at the very least, I'll give you 2 to 3 pieces of real value-add advice that you can take away from the conversation. That's the worst case scenario. And if that's where our relationship ends, then totally cool. However, if we both think that there's benefit in us formally working together, we'll schedule a further deeper conversation on exactly what that could look like. So listen, thanks again for watching to the end of the video. If you are committed to taking action and transforming your life, take that first step. Click the button below and book a 15-minute call in my diary. It might just be the single most important decision you make this year.